What's up, YouTube family? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about no sales at the auction and why this is such a big deal right now. Now, I'm actually coming to you from the Philippines. I'm in Manila right now on vacation. I took about 3 weeks. I haven't had a vacation in like 15 years, so I wanted to have a little bit of breather before I actually start at my dealership. So when I get back to Vegas, we're going to have a dealership walkthrough. We're going to show you guys how to set up a rental car company, auto repair, dealership, all the stuff we talk about in this channel. And eventually I'll have a location where if you guys want to come and do some training, we'll have a facility to facilitate that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into why no sales are such a big deal. Now, what I mean by no sales at auctions is every bank, every repo company, every franchise store, when they get vehicles, they take them to the auction and they put them up for sale. Now, when they run through the auction lanes, they have basically random dealers, random people bidding online. And if, let's say, I bid $25,000 on this car and the bank or the dealer doesn't like my number, they want, let's say, $30,000 instead of my 25, they could say no sale, and then the car just rolls back the next week. Well, this has been going on a lot. I talked about this about 3 months ago, where I've been bidding on cars and I can't get a lot of the vehicles because these dealers still think that the market is still hot. So they keep pricing their cars higher and higher and higher because every time there's a new sale, MMR goes up. So they believe that the value is going up when it's really not. So the reason why this is such a big deal is every time these banks and these repo companies bring these cars, they're allowed to set a reserve. Now, the reserve makes no sense. It could be either what the car is worth, it could be way over, which in most cases it is, or it can be below. But the reason why this is so important is banks need to get these bad loans off their books so they can continue to lend. So every time they give out, let's say they have a car and they want to get rid of it, as soon as they sell it, they can go out and lend anywhere from 1 to 2.5 times that vehicle because they just need to clear their books to balance their book sheet. But the problem is they're not selling them. They're so scared because the deficiencies are getting bigger. Now, deficiency is if the customer, let's say, owes $30,000 on that loan, but me as a dealer, I'm willing to pay $25,000. The bank does not want to eat that $5,000 deficiency because it'll make their books look bad. So they keep, well, I'm just going to wait and just ask for more. So they keep asking for 30, 32, 33, thinking that there's somebody dumb enough to pay for it. Now, unfortunately, this is why I want to make this video. There's a lot of dealers that are overpaying for cars still. So what happens is let's say the customer wants, or the bank wants $30,000. I'm stuck at 25 because I know that's what the real value is. If next week somebody buys one for $33,000 and that resets the book, which is MMR. So now the banks look at it, well, one sold last week for 33, I'm gonna ask for 34 for mine so I can get my $30,000 out of it and maybe I'll make a few bucks. And so right now we're at this weird conundrum where banks think the cars are worth way more than what they are. Dealers are still overpaying, but they can't physically finance it because they're so over their books, and demand is rapidly shrinking. Now, I've seen so many non-sales these last few weeks because I watch the auctions every single day. I'm not even joking. I purposely pick cars just to see if they sold and what they sold for. I made a joke about trying to buy a Jeep like a month ago for like 27,000. They finally sold it for $20,000. So they got $6,000 less than what I offered them over a month ago, but they ran it, I think, almost 3 to 4 months. It was ridiculous. So a lot of the cars that I've been keying in from different banks and different companies that I know, they're still running as non-sales. They keep going over and over again because the banks want too much money for them. Now, eventually the auction is going to give them grief and say, hey, you guys need to sell it. But banks have something that us independents and some of the franchise don't. They can tell the auction literally what they want to do. See, me as an independent, if I run the car 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I have to pay an additional fee every time I don't sell the car because the auction wants to make money. Where it comes to a bank, that bank can run it 50, 60 times and they have a deal with them where they won't charge them anything because the auction needs their repos to make money on not only me as the dealer, but them as the seller. And that's what we're getting to now is I'm wondering if they're going to change the structure of the auction. Now, back in the day, everything was done online, and they're really, really pushing for this online only stuff. They want to, the auction houses want to cut all their overhead, get to a skeleton crew, and they realize that they're able to sell cars for higher amounts of money because there's nobody to question the condition reports. Now, a condition report is done on every single vehicle that goes to the auction. If the car has a little bit of damage, has a check engine light, a lot of these things are notified in the condition reports. Well, now you have these kids that are, maybe right out of high school. They hire them for 15 bucks an hour, and their job is not even like as a mechanic, just as a regular person, to physically inspect these cars and mark off what they see. So of course, when they do your car, they notify every little scratch, every little ding. So at the time there's like 10 things going against your car, your condition report probably should be 3, 4. They'll whack it all the way down to like 2 because of all the dents and scratches. But if you buy a repo from like a bank or a big franchise store, the condition report is always, oh, it's a great car, it's good, it's low miles, no issue, right? Then you get it, it's like it's leaking oil, tranny slipping, all kinds of issues. But since you bought it as is, there's nothing you can do about it. And they sold more cars and more crap as is than ever before in history during the pandemic, because everybody knew that we could shovel all this dog shit down to the auction and there was nobody physically there to look at the cars. So still today, I still refuse to go buy cars because I have people, oh bro, just bid on my car, it's online. I'm like, I need to go see it. No, just bid online, the condition report's there. I'm like, dude, I don't trust some kid making 15 bucks an hour that's gonna tell me what's wrong with the car. I need to see it, especially when you're paying 30, 40, 50, $60,000 for some of these vehicles. And this is like the perfect storm, because every time we talk about this stuff, and I was just recently on a few news shows about how I believe what this market's gonna turn into, it's literally like following the path. I'm watching these people now starting to freak out. Dealers are starting to go out of business. Like the lot I'm taking over, nobody could afford it. Everybody basically walked away from their leases. Since I made that video about opening up a dealership in Vegas, 4 more dealers in Vegas that I know of went out of business. So this market is getting really bad. People don't have money, the economy's tanking, interest rates are an all-time high. People don't have the excess ability of cash of what they used to, and they keep saying that unemployment's at its lowest peak. But I know a lot of people that are trying to find other jobs because, that they have that one friend that's making 30 bucks an hour being a secretary somewhere because somebody was so desperate they overpaid. So now everybody else is trying to chase this thing. Rent's going up. Inflation is still at, I think, 8.3 or 8.4% now that it's no longer 8.5. So it went down like half a point on a percentage. But in the scheme of things, everything is looking really bad. It got so bad, which I'm going to make another video, that they were talking about maybe coming up with a program almost like housing, where it's cash for keys or keys for cash, where if people are so upside down and they want to walk away with their car, as long as they go to the bank and give them the keys, they will take the car back and hopefully relinquish some of the balances. Because after looking at all the repo numbers and how big the deficiencies are, if they have to chase these people, if these people walk away in the scheme of hundreds of thousands of vehicles, if they were to do this program and offer like some sort of debt forgiveness, it would actually make really big numbers and save the bank a lot of money. And I'm sure the bank will try to use that. Oh, we're helping the people out, give me some sort of government grant, lease, whatever else. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on behind the scenes that I'm waiting to hear more about. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm here in the Philippines, so I'm a little bit out of touch, but I will bring that video as soon as I can, as soon as I hear a little more about it. But I would love to hear your comments and thoughts on what you think of the current situation of no sales. Is it like this in your location or your area? Because I hear dealers complaining all the time. They've been bidding on the same cars over and over again and nothing is selling. So please put in the comment section what you believe and where you think the car market is going, because I actually read almost every single one of your guys' comments. For the first hour or two, I try to reply. Here it's gonna be a little bit weird because my internet's a little bit off, but it's very important for me to get your guys' feedback, to judge what we should talk about and to gauge the market. Also, it's a big thing to share information, because even though I talk about this and I've been like in LA, San Diego, Vegas, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, these are things I'm seeing. I know back east it may be completely different, because I think there's a bigger car shortage in the Northeast than there is here on the West Coast. But unless you guys share the information with other people, you have no idea. And once again, if you go to my comment section below or my description, there's a link to our Facebook page. It's the whole group of this page is to share information, to sell your troubles, ask questions, and hopefully learn from each other. Because like I said, my goal for this channel is to build transparency in the automotive industry so we can share knowledge, help each other. There's more than enough money out in the world where we can all make money together. If we're all smarter consumers, we won't outbid each other at the auction. It'll make it a lot easier. So there's no point in hating your fellow dealer buddy or your rental car competitor or even your auto repair business competitor. there's more than enough money out in the world. We can all make money together. But anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for not being in my studio, but I wanted to bring this video to you, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the States. We'll see you soon.